Hey, this is Mark at Motor City Nightmares. I'm here with Oliver Robbins. You may recognize him from the hit horror film Poltergeist. Tell me, Oliver, what was it? What was it like working with Steven and Toby on the set of Poltergeist?
It was the worst experience ever. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, it was amazing. They were amazing to work with. They were so kind, and I credit them to allowing me to act the way I did because they made it such a comfortable set for me as a child. And a lot of filmmakers don't know their craft as well as they do. So they were able to create this environment where they knew exactly what they wanted, and they were able to allow me to just be a kid and emote and give the natural performance that I gave.
I know there's been some controversy or whatever about who actually directed the film. How much input did Steven have on set compared to Toby's directorial style?
I think it was we were a family working on that movie. As everyone knows, Steven wrote the original draft of the script, and then Michael Grace and Mark Victor worked on it after us. And he brought in Toby because Toby was so great with horror. And everyone's like, well, who really directed you? Toby directed me on set, but obviously it's Steven's vision. And, I'm a filmmaker myself, and I've written scripts, and I've worked pretty closely with the directors, and I said, this is what I had in mind. And they'd say, what do you have in mind? What are you thinking about this scene? And Toby was obviously hired because Steven wanted a director who could bring that horror touch, but at the same time, you have the infusion of the family element, and that's kind of beautiful, and that's why Poltergeist, I think, works so well. So to answer your question, Toby directed me.
That's great to hear. Hey, did you see any of Toby's films prior to working with him on Poltergeist?
No, I had never seen Texas Chainsaw. It's probably a good idea I hadn't seen it because I had nightmares from movies that I probably shouldn't have seen before that. Like, I think I saw The Shining. It was just on cable. My parents left me alone with the cable box. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I had nightmares from The Shining. So it's probably a really good idea. I did not see his prior work before being directed by him in Poltergeist.
Now I want to ask you something that might be a little bit sensitive. What was your opinion on the Poltergeist curse?
I watch my step every day. I live in fear. I actually just stay in a little closet and I never never leave it because lightning bolts could. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I think all these tragic things happen, and honestly, they're just things like this happen in life, unfortunately. And I don't think there's any relationship to a quote unquote curse. But I think the curse, the mythology of the curse is great in one respect. Is that the fact is, if you hear about the curse, and young people who haven't seen the movie, like I haven't seen Poltergeist, but I heard about the curse, I want to see the film now. So it keeps the film alive. And then when you watch the movie, you're like, wow, this is really good. Even if you know nothing about anything else, and you got to see the movie because you heard about it from the curse. And the film is 40 years old, so if the curse keeps it alive, and you get to see this great movie because of the mythology of the curse, that's really still a wonderful thing.
I want to talk a little bit about Poltergeist too, because for me, my fondest memory of that film is the scary Julian Beck. What was your experience working around him?
He was such a gentleman, and you watch him, everyone's like, were you afraid of him? And I was like, no, I wasn't. He was such a fine actor. When he turned it on, we were all terrified. Like, when he's walking up the steps of the house, I think we're all kind of scared, and we're living in that moment, too. And then the director would call cut, and he was like, hey, and talk to us, and it's kind of weird. Like, you were just this really scary guy, you're all gonna die in there. And he put that in, you're like, oh my God, it was pretty terrifying.
I want to talk to you about a movie that I really love, and I love your part in it, was Airplane 2. Your scene with Peter Graves is probably it has to go down legendary, just like the scene in the first movie. What was your experience working with him as he's telling you those really touchy lines?
I know as a kid, I really didn't quite understand what they were saying. The director, Ken Finkelman, said, just go with it. Just give me wide-eye, like you're really innocent to everything he says. And Peter Graves was just great at coming up with these things off the cuff. A lot of things were scripted, but he was just coming up with lines. If I can tell you one, I remember that probably didn't make it in the movie. He says, Jimmy, do you like it when dogs play leapfrog but don't quite make it? I just remember that as a kid. I don't think that made it in the movie, but Peter Graves was so great at just like, okay, do this, and everyone was so relaxed, and it was so much fun doing that after Poltergeist. Poltergeist was fun and intense, and with Airplane, I just got to get a pie in the face, got to wear a little suit around, and it was just a really fun set.
Now we see you brought the clown doll here with you. Now, where is the Scraps doll from Airplane?
I need to. I need to have a little stuffed scrap so I can carry around with me too.
Or have him wrapped around
Yeah,
your leg?
no, I'll just carry him like this. So I can. That's actually a really good idea. I'll be manufacturing. They'll be on sale next week. No.
So what projects are you? Would you like to promote here?
Well, I have my movie called Celebrity Crush, which unfortunately we finished it right before COVID began. It was like the worst possible timing. We were going to do a theatrical release for it. We couldn't go out and promote it. But now it's on Tubi. So watch my movie. It's called Celebrity Crush. And no, it was really fun to do. It was the first film I had acted in 40 years. And my friends are like, you're really good, Oliver, if they say so themselves. And then you should act again in a movie. I'm like, but I haven't acted in years. And so I said, okay, I'll direct myself and act in this movie. And we did it. And it was fun. And I think it turned out pretty well. So everyone should watch it, review it, and you can give me your thoughts.
Well, Oliver, it was a pleasure. We don't want to take up too much of your time. And again, this is Mark at the Motor City Nightmares with Oliver Robbins.